A little movie property that has taken Halloween Horror Nights by storm over in Hollywood and is rumored to soon be coming to Orlando has dropped its second season, and me and Losh here at Boo Bros are here to cover it. And that little show, that little movie, is called Creepshow. Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host on today's video, ZombieChris, along with my co-host on this Creepshow TV series review, the one and only Losh TV. How's it going, Losh?
Hey, I'm doing great. While I'm here, I want to tell you guys thank you so much for the outright love and support to the channel. Since the last time I've been on a video, we passed 300 subs and we're on our way to 400. So thank you guys so much. You guys are phenomenal. If I can kiss all of you on the forehead, I would, but my girlfriend might get mad, so I'm not going to do that.
Also, the pandemic, so it can't be kissing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, if you guys want, we can air high five. So yeah. Get ready for it in 3, 2, 1. There you go. That's for all of you guys. But since we're on the topic of the channel, let's talk about our social media. Chris, where can they find us?
They can find us over on Twitter and Instagram. It is Boo Bros INC, which stands for Incorporated, I believe, right?
Right, I believe so. I mean, it's kind of like Scooby-Doo in the gang, but we don't have a dog. Also, if you guys want to leave discussion, answers, comment down below, and also like this video. It helps us out with the algorithm. It helps us out a lot. Trust me.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about Creepshow. Now, Creepshow, it's been around. It's elongated. It's like an 80s B movie. Like everyone knows the creeper. So if you didn't know, Shudder actually brought it back to be a TV series. I believe it was last year they did season 1. So this time around, they're back with season 2. I believe it's 10 episodes this time. And me and Losh decided, what the heck? This is a property that kind of is closely related to Horror Nights because, well, it was a house at Halloween Horror Nights over in Hollywood. And it's pretty much rumored, 99% rumored to be coming to the Orlando event. So why not review some of the episodes and talk about how it's probably going to go down at Halloween Horror Nights. Losh, let's start with the first episode, which is called Modeled Kid. What were your thoughts about this episode?
So right off the rip, the first thing I thought is this just feels like classic horror. It felt like something that you don't typically expect from a TV series. You don't just go into something starting off with a black and white movie. It's not something you'll catch in 2021.
Yeah.
I found it miles ahead of other shows that I've seen. Horror shows now don't get as much love as they did probably 10 years ago, 5 years ago, when we had Bates Motel and The Walking Dead. This show itself is letting itself lead to that level of love.
My first time watching the episode, I was so on the episode. I like parts about it. Obviously, Greg Nicotero, if he did the creature designs, obviously he did a fantastic job. He also directed this episode as well as the second episode that we'll get to in a little bit. I was just so on some of the elements that I saw coming. Not to spoil anything, there's something with the mom that if you watched enough TV or enough movies, I called it right within 2 seconds of her being on the screen. I knew what was coming. But the second go around of watching this, I actually really enjoyed it a lot more. And there's actually a lot of hidden Easter eggs, which I did not know on the first and the second viewing. If you look around the young kids room, there's actually homages to the original Creepshow, and a lot of things that are happening in his are a lot or homages to the original as well.
I didn't notice those that well. I noticed, obviously, I'm gonna say one spoiler here because why not? That the creep was there, and I texted Chris right away, and I was like, I love the model look of the creep.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't even catch that. He was in the room with
yeah,
us, or
yeah,
like,
they had a model figure of him, and he was when they were panning around all
oh,
his figures, he was like holding out a book. That's like the first thing I noticed, and I was
oh,
like,
that is
that's sick.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode is definitely not to spoil and jump ahead, but both of these episodes are really, really worth like multiple watches, and that's what I enjoy. It's not just like a one-time watch, and you're like, I won't cut that back on again. Like I would love to rewatch these again. The uncle character. Being that I'm a Entourage fan, I know this character from that show. So acting wise, he it's almost like Johnny Drama, who is the character that he plays on Entourage. It's like him just acting in this role as yeah, I didn't believe the actor. I was just like, oh, it's Johnny Drama just acting in this role. How'd you like the uncle character?
So, fun fact, I completely dislike him. Like, I hate him as a person. In the show, I don't know him
Yeah.
outside of anything. So, as soon as I finished the episode, I said, "Let me do some research on some of these characters." Did you know that he was in the Blob, the
No.
1978 Blob? Yeah,
What?
yeah, he's one of the characters in there. I just found that out doing research on some of the characters. I was like, "That's pretty cool that they just picked out a character from older horror flick and brought him into this."
Yeah, kind of like the having horror elements like just injected all throughout this series, especially in the second episode, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But that is pretty neat. I did not know that. Did you
Yeah,
find any other facts about the other characters or anything?
I couldn't really find anything on anyone else, but I was looking at the Gillman design,
Hmm.
and I want you to tell me. I was waiting until we got on this to talk about it. Did you notice that he kind of looked like the merman from Cabin in the Woods, or was it just me that realized that?
I could see that. I could see that. Did Greg Nicotero didn't do anything on Cabin in the Woods, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
That would be kind of funny though. How did you feel about just the initial opening with the creeper himself? Like that was like creepy and freaky and weird seeing
It
it.
was weird. Yeah. Yeah. Like when I was watching the first season, looking at watching the creep just animated is weird to me sometimes.
Hmm.
But I love seeing him in that puppet form.
Yeah,
Not puppet. Well, it's a puppet basically. It's
I
puppeteer.
yeah, I
I
assume
think
it's a puppet, but the hands are real, so it's like a mixture of two, right?
it's
Like
it's like Swedish Chef but spooky.
yeah, that's what I was thinking because the hands are like this, and you're like Swedish chef. The creeper's a Swedish chef.
That's something I want to see in a cook-off.
Yeah, I want to see the creeper and the Swedish chef in a segment together. Yeah, so how
Mm.
did you feel about this episode being, I guess, since this is a horror TV show, how did you feel? Did it do justice for this being like horror? Did you get that spooky kind of Halloween feel with this?
So I feel like it was perfectly encompassing Halloween. I feel like everyone has that one person in their family when they love Halloween that tells them that you shouldn't care about Halloween year round. It should just
Yeah.
be in that
Or
time
grow
frame.
up, Halloween's for
Yeah,
kids type of thing. Yeah.
exactly. It kind of hit home in a way because I've had that happen multiple times in the past. People still tell me that now, and I'm 24 years old, so Jesus. But I feel like it's something good for kids to not really, not kids, but yeah, kids, I guess. If kids are watching this, your parents are letting you watch this, I guess. But
Bye.
it's it's good to let you get that. it's okay to like Halloween. It's okay to be spooky.
Yeah.
You don't have to really worry about what other people think of you.
And you
So
know,
in the aspect of, is this a good way to like bring horror, like a good horror episode? Yes, I think it's a really good horror episode. It's well done.
and to bring up
Especially
a point on what you just was talking about, those kids that you let have that creativity and that imagination and that love for horror are like people like Greg Nicotero or people like
Mhm.
Sam Raimi. You know, they grow up to do things that are iconic in the horror genre. I mean, look at James Wan. You know, he was obsessed with horror as a teenager and a kid, and he's behind Saw and Conjuring. I mean, look, you know what it can do if you like let your kids, you know, explore stuff that they love. Second episode, it's near and dear to my heart. It's called Public Television of the Dead, which with a name like that, you wouldn't think, I wouldn't think this would have any relation to something near and dear to my heart, which was a little movie that a friend, when I was like in my younger teens, gave me a VHS tape to watch, was Evil Dead 2, in which I grew to love the series. And it is a big homage. The second episode is just, it's like a love letter to the Evil Dead franchise. So much, you know, got the Necronomicon right here. Should I read some of it? No, no, no. I shouldn't
No,
do
no.
that. I don't want anything spooky to happen here. Losh,
Yeah.
what did you think about the second episode?
Honestly, do you guys mind about spoiler? Do you care about spoilers?
Yeah, you can spill a little bit here.
Okay, I love how we have Bob Ross playing Ash, essentially.
Yeah.
That's that's my one spoiler thing, I guess, for this episode. But honestly, this made the entire episode phenomenal for me. It was so cool to see, like you said, the Evil Dead
Hmm.
be represented in Creepshow. I feel like going back to the first like model kit altogether, this whole first episode is a perfect homage to the past of like horror's past,
Yes.
and it's pretty well done. I being real, when I saw the first season, it was kind of a letdown, if I'm being completely honest.
I fully agree. Oh my God, I agree so much.
Yeah, the first season, I was really expecting a lot more. And then just going into this first episode here of season two,
Yeah.
I was a little bit nervous. And as soon as that first segment ended, I'm like, that's pretty good. Let's see what the second one is. And as soon as I saw that television program that was about the antiques and I saw the book, I'm like, that looks a lot like the
You're like
Necronomicon.
you're like that Leo, yeah, the Leo meme.
I know that. He said the thing. He said the thing. But as soon as I saw it, I'm like, there's no way they're gonna do this. And then he starts reading from the book, and I'm like, what are
You're
you doing? And I felt like I was a kid watching a horror movie for the first time again, and it was just
Mhm.
great.
And it's so funny that they actually have Ted Raimi in this,
Yeah.
which it's so funny that he's in here and he's actually playing like himself. And the joke of it is like he even jokes about the book. He's like, yeah, I had this book in the family for like a long time. And then I think he said like,
Didn't he say something
yeah,
like it
we
was in a cellar?
yeah, he
Like it
said
was,
like it's the homage to the fruit cellar, like in the cabin. He's like, yeah,
yeah,
I found it down in like our cellar or fruit cellar. I love like the inside jokes, just
yeah.
plaguing to like Evil Dead being like it exists, but it kind of I guess doesn't in this world.
You
Um,
know what would have been a perfect way to end this episode? Just Sam Raimi's car's outside, and then the Bob
oh
Ross
God, the
like
yeah
gets into it and drives off.
did you find any like Easter eggs, anything in this episode?
The only thing I found really funny about this episode was the puppet
Oh
reminded me of Ashy Slashy from Ash vs.
yes,
Evil Dead. And I was
yes.
like, I don't know if that's paying homage to it, but it's pretty funny.
I love
Like,
the scene with the puppet reading.
like what's going on? You think everything's done? I thought they were gonna pull the Ash's girlfriend thing with the head chopped off. So
Oh yeah,
what I
yeah.
think might end up happening is maybe later on in Creepshow, like another episode, they'll revisit this and
That
have her
would.
head
Oh
at
God,
like
that
the
would be
TV
awesome.
set,
Yes.
and maybe that's where that they can add more references to the show, make it seem more like Evil Dead 2 than Evil
Yeah.
Dead 1, and maybe even continue it and bring in Army of Darkness for no
Mhm.
reason, but
Well, the way like in the first episode with the model kid, like how there's so many homages in his room to, I believe there's an homage to the crate creature. Is
oh,
something in there I thought I read, which, you know, like plagues like, hey, this is a creep show universe. So things could always like be
come
hidden,
back.
come
Yeah.
back. So that's pretty good idea. I love that. So how did you feel this horror episode? Like, what would you like think horror wise?
Horror wise, I feel like if you think of it as a horror comedy aspect, it's perfect. Like
Mm-hmm.
horror satire, it's perfect. But if we're thinking just horror, I gotta say, if I go out of 10, I'd give it like a solid 7 out of 10 for horror.
Yeah,
It's not like,
I'm on that.
yeah,
Solid
it's
7
not
out of
like
10.
it's not like horror. It's not spooky, but it's the right amount of funny, scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a well balanced like refresher to the first one, which
yeah,
wasn't like heavy, but it did have sort of a touching story there, as well as kind of like um a little bit of gore. And then this one was like, hey, we're gonna give you like the opposite. We're gonna give you comedy and straight up good makeup, obviously by
yeah.
Greg Nicotero. I'm assuming did the makeup in this one as well. It looked everything looked spot on, like it belonged from the Evil Dead universe. And with that being said, Creepshow is rumored to be coming to Halloween Horror Nights. So, Losh, what do you think we might see from these two episodes, or what would you like to see come to Horror Nights from
Uh,
these episodes?
so if we're talking about in a scare zone, right? I would love to see Gilman and the Mummy. Not so much the uncle and the kid. I feel like
Yeah,
if they do Creepshow season 2 in the scare zone, it's gonna be nitpick things from the show. So maybe even see the Bob Ross painter with a bloody paintbrush walking through the scare zone. Deadite running around. Think of like All Night Die-In double feature, but with the Creepshow characters instead of your double cast.
yeah,
That's what I thought of with the scare zone. But if we talk about a house, I would love to see starting this thing right. Obviously, a comic book entrance.
yeah.
You walk straight into the kid's room with the projector on. You walk through the projection and straight into that first movie, looking at the
Black and
scene,
white. Yeah,
black and white, and then you obviously get to where like the scene pans out and you get to the kid, and you see the kid and the mom. Obviously, you go and you see Gilman and you see the Mummy and
turn
so
or
on and so
doing
on.
what they're doing.
Yeah, doing what they're doing in modern light, and then slowly transition into the next scene, and probably between each thing have the creep show up to give you a transition laugh or a transition scare
Yeah,
and everything. Yeah,
I could
and I'd love
definitely
to see the full set.
I could definitely see that. I would love to see the model kid, the room, to see all that stuff, like all his
Yeah,
monster stuff on the wall. That would be awesome. I definitely want to see Frankenstein maybe be in the street,
yeah,
because if he's tall enough, or maybe they put like these mini stilts or something to make him like a uber tall Frankenstein, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, I think most of the first episode I would like to see in the house as opposed to the
Mhm.
scare zone. The second one with the Evil Dead, pretty much Evil Dead mini short. I could see these characters in the scare zone. Maybe I don't know. I would like to see it in the house though,
yeah. I feel like
more
you can
so
see
than the
the
zone.
like
But
the full like TV show sets.
Yeah.
Like you have 3 perfect sets that you can work with. One would be the painter, the other would be the talk show, and then the like a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but it was the girl instead.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me, if I'm being honest. It felt like a female version of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah, and then that way we can see the
Exactly, and maybe you can even have like a mini puppet scare. Horror Nights loves their puppet scares.
Yes. So I definitely could see hopefully season 2 is going to show up at this year's event. Based on these first 2 episodes, I'm excited on this road of where we're going to go. So if you guys like this type of stuff, we're going to be doing this every week with these episodes being released. I believe they're released every Friday. So tune in next week and we'll review the next 2 episodes. So anything else, Losh?
Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you guys want us to do next. Subscribe if you guys haven't done so already.
Yeah.
And stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Yeah.
And, we're going to be doing more stuff involving movies down the road. So we're going to be incorporating maybe some watch along type of things, especially once
maybe we can do like a review or something on some movies that are maybe coming to Horror Nights.
Mainstream movies that might be coming out. And when stuff gets announced, we might be doing sort of some watch alongs.
Maybe, who knows?
There's a clue. Yeah. Chainsaw noise.
Chainsaw noise.
But if you're still watching, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Losh appreciates. There you go. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. I'm ZombieChris. That is
Adrian
Losh
from Losh TV.
That's right. The one and only. We're out of here.
One.
Adios. Stay spooky.
Adios. Stay spooky. Yeah.